On the news at 7, court sentences Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. ASU to begin indefinite strike tomorrow. And from the falling scene, Ukraine to use territories under US drafted peace plan with Russia. Good evening and a warm welcome to the news. Kunle Arroyo is my name. The Federal High Court in Abuja has sentenced the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to life imprisonment. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, handed down the sentence on counts 1, 4, and 6, opting for life imprisonment instead of the death penalty. The court found Kanu guilty of count 1 and 2 of making a series of broadcasts to incite violence and killings in furtherance of his separatist agitation for Biafra. The court held that the threat of violence and killings, including the declaration of sit at home in the southeast states and his many broadcasts, constitute act of terrorism. It also found Kanu guilty of counts 4 and 5 of inciting violence during the NSAS protest, resulting in the killings of security personnel and the destruction of government properties in Lagos. The court also held that the IPOB leader was not denied a fair hearing as claimed by him. Justice Omotosho stated that a person who is found guilty of the offense will get a maximum of a death penalty. According to the judge, Kanu's repeated threat of violence and killings, including his directives enforcing sit-at-home orders across the southeast in various broadcasts, amounted to acts of terrorism under the law. Justice Omotosho held that Kanu's orders were unconstitutional. The court also held Kanu, who said he is the founder and director of Radio and Television of Biafra, made a broadcast to the effect that the army of Nigeria will die and that everything called Nigeria will perish in Biafra. Meanwhile, there was a mind drama at the court this morning when Justice James Omotosho began delivering judgment in the defendant's absence. The judge ordered that the proceedings continue without Kanu after describing his behavior in court as unruly. The decision followed the dismissal of 3 fresh motions filed by the IPOB leader, which the court deemed not meritorious. Kanu had interjected during the ruling, insisting that the court could not proceed as he had not filed his final written address. Sorry for that. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has refuted claims by the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment that a high percentage of its mandate have been met. NAD described the claims as not only inaccurate but a deliberate attempt to mislead the Nigerian public and undermine the legitimate struggle of its members. The Ministry of Labor and Employment had announced that the federal government had addressed 19 out of the 20 demands listed by NAD. A statement by NAD President Mohammed Suleiman noted that, contrary to the ministry's claims, not a single one in its 19 core demands had been fully or verifiably met. The statement said NAD remains open to dialogue, but this dialogue must be result-oriented. A fresh crisis has erupted within the African Democratic Congress ahead of the 2027 elections as a faction loyal to the factional national chairman, Nafiu Bala, warned opposition heavyweights including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's Peter Obi, and the former Kaduna State Governor Nelson El-Rufai against hijacking the party. The warning was issued by the ADC Board of Trustees, which also passed a vote of confidence in Bala, describing the David Mark-led coalition as an illegal structure backed by a rival leadership. BOT Secretary Rufus Nkenem condemned what he called an attempt by some individuals who illegally sneaked into the party in the name of a coalition, investing the ADC with the political spirit of insubordination. The faction also mandated Bala to activate a disciplinary committee to sanction any ADC member found interacting with the listed leaders, insisting that the party would not condone any act of lawlessness by its members. As artificial intelligence is advancing in a record speed, cyber threats are becoming more sophisticated and social media continues to shape public behavior on a massive scale. These three forces, AI ethics, cybersecurity, and social media, are now intersecting in ways that present both incredible opportunities and serious risks. Our reporter, Adeo Mitaiwo, tells us more.
The ethics of artificial intelligence is no longer a technical debate. It's a question of trust, fairness, and human rights.
We apologize for poor quality of that report. Libraries have long served as important centers of learning, research, and intellectual development, but in the digital age, concerns are growing over whether students still visit these facilities as they, they once did. Blessing of the reports on the declining use of libraries in Ondo State and what stakeholders are doing to address it. We'll also give you that report in the course of the bulletin. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has announced an indefinite strike starting tomorrow due to the federal government's failure to meet key demands. The union has rejected the government's 35% salary increase proposal as inadequate and insists on fair remuneration and improved working conditions to stem the loss of academic talent. This strike follows the expiration of a one-month ultimatum given after suspending a previous two-week warning strike in October. HASU emphasized that the ongoing issue relates to the non-implementation of the 2009 federal government and ASU agreement, which covers lecturer welfare, university funding, autonomy, and other critical matters. The union warns that the strike will continue until government commitments are meaningfully addressed. The Kwara State government has ordered the closure of schools in four local government areas of Insin, Irepodun, Ifelodun, and Ekiti due to the rising banditry and escalating insecurity. This decision comes after a deadly bandit attack on a church in Eruku Ekiti local government area, which left 3 dead and over 35 abducted. Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak has called for the establishment of a forward operating base of the Nigerian Army and a mobile police squadron in the area to improve security. The federal government has iterated its commitment to improving safe learning environment for students through continued support for the Safe School Initiative. The Minister of State for Finance, Doris Onzoko Ante, affirmed funding for education, teacher salaries, school feeding programs, and safety measures during the 2025 International Student Day celebrated in Abuja. The government stressed the importance of investing in students as the future leaders and contributors to national development. We'll now take a break now. When we'll come back, we'll give you more stories. Please stay with us.
One soft voice go dey darkness with a kulele promise. You could calm your feet them. You fit smoke up, you fit smoke up, you fit sniff up. The first drag they hit, but the addiction no be play oh. You go first scatter your body. Your mind go come follow. You go dabaru your work, your future, even your money. Yeah, but no forget oh, help dey. No give up. You fit break cycle with correct help and better support. You fit overcome am. Reach out for better future. Na Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) say make a young give una. Say no to drugs. NDDC, 25 years of making a difference.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. The National Youth Service Corps has disowned a pamphlet circulating on social media that purportedly advises Corps members to pay ransom if kidnapped. The scheme described the document as fake and not its official publication. In a statement issued via its X handle, the NYSC management clarified that although a consultant had presented a similar document for consideration in 2021, it was not adopted. The NYSC reassured Corps members and the public of its commitment to their safety, noting that it continues to work closely with security agencies and other stakeholders to enhance protection for staff and Corps members. Northern women under the umbrella of Voices for Inclusion and Equity for Women, VIO, have condemned the abduction of 25 schoolgirls from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, in Tankwa, Wasugu local government area of Kebbi State. In a statement, the group described the attack as a failure of leadership and another blow to the nation's conscience. The group said the incident highlights the government's continued inability to secure schools, noting that despite past tragedies in Chibok, Dapchi, and Jangede schools across northern Nigeria remain exposed to attacks, the organization warned that the current kidnappings raise questions about the state's commitment to protecting girls and already face social and economic disadvantages, adding that the latest attack reflects the failures of the Safe Schools initiative. The group demanded an intelligence-driven rescue operation and daily public updates on efforts to free the victims, urging authorities to avoid the slow responses that have trailed previous mass abductions. I will go straight to sports now. Nigeria has risen 3 places to 38 in the latest FIFA Men's World Ranking after recent matches including a 4-1 win over Gabon and a 1-1 draw with Democratic Republic of Congo that ended in a penalty shootout loss in the African World Cup playoff. Despite missing out of the 2026 World Cup, this result helped Nigeria climb the rankings to 5th among African nations, trailing Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, and Algeria. Morocco remains Africa's top-ranked team by a significant margin. Nigeria currently holds a narrow point advantage over Tunisia and a wider one over Ivory Coast and Cote d'Ivoire. The Democratic Republic of Congo, the rising to 38, offers a small consolation amid national disappointment after the World Cup playoff defeat in Rabat. With the African Cup of Nations scheduled for December in Morocco, Nigeria has a chance to further improve its standing with a strong showing in the tournament. And that's it on the news tonight. We thank you for being a part of it. Good evening.